Welcome back to Sailing Trilleen and to this video about the passage from Shetland back to Peterhead. I'm sorry that the video is a little bit late hitting YouTube. I've been quite busy and so there's a bit of content stacked up. I hope you enjoy it anyway. After some days in Shetland, including some delightful times where my mum came to visit, I'm just getting ready to push south to Orkney, a small anchorage by the airport right on the tip of the island down at Sunborough. And the reason I'm doing that is because there is potentially a pulse of wind coming on Saturday night till Sunday, which will allow us to have what looks like quite a good sail to Orkney or indeed to Wick. I could wait here, but it's quite a short pulse of wind and I don't want to run out of wind in the Pentland Firth, so being 15 miles closer to the jump off point at Sunborough Head, so to speak, makes a lot of sense. That's us clear of Lerwick, heading south, currently sailing, full sail, fetching the edge of Musa. I think we'll definitely be able to sail half the way if this carries on, and maybe we'll have enough grunt to get upwind into Orkney. Who knows, we will see. But it's really nice to be out again, actually. It's been a long time, too long, and the weather's been pretty rubbish, which is why there hasn't been really any film from Lerwick, because it's just been foul. The passage south to Orkney continued in much the same vein. The sea was flattened by the land immediately upwind, making for rapid progress south, even if the presence of the same land also introduced continual swirls into the wind. It's not far down the coast to Sunborough in a straight line, but the fantastically indented coast makes it a much longer journey on land, which explains why a boat, usually a twin-screw outboard cat or some such similar hardy vessel, is as necessary in Shetland as a four-wheel drive is in the deep countryside of Scotland. There are a few other anchorages down the east coast of Shetland, but sadly on this occasion there was no time or opportunity to explore those. Perhaps the day will come when Trilleen can spend a long season in this amazing archipelago. Trilleen is anchored on the southeasterly tip of Shetland in Orkney. We are literally just off the end of the airport runway. Anchorage is a bit constricted because there's a lot of dredging or some sort of pier construction works going on, and so I'm anchored a bit further out than I would like, but I am on the 6 metre contour, so I suppose I can't really complain. You join me in Sunborough at Orkney, where we've had a nice anchorage overnight despite the works going on at the pier and the need to move a barge in and out of here. They were very professional about it, actually. It was really nice to see. So we are about to get underway to mainland Scotland, ideally to Wick, but the diversion ports are all in Orkney and we might end up in Deer Sound if I get tired. That's us clear of the anchorage and back under full sail in 10 knots of apparent. Very different from around the island race today, I think. We are just coming down to Sunborough Head Light, and I can just see the breaking roost even on this flat sea south of the head. So we are currently being taken out by the wind, which is actually pretty much what we want. We're close hauled at the moment, doing about 3.5 on a flat sea, and I'm really hoping the wind does turn as we come around the head, because that will give us a course direct to Wick. Rationing engine hours really does make getting out of moorings very efficiently a thing. Pretty much sailed off that anchor, which is good practice. Trilleen and I are creeping south at between 2 and 3 knots. I really hope that the forecast holds and that we get 15 to 20 on the beam, because otherwise this is going to be super boring and take an awfully long time. We are about 3 to 5 miles south of Sunborough Head, and we are just entering the area of sea known as the Hole, which lies between Fair Isle, Shetland, and is notorious for bad weather and bad seas. In these conditions it's pretty placid actually, but you can see the difference in the sea state building already slightly, even after several days of very quiet weather. Trilleen's doing well, she's pottering along, and so am I. The new day has dawned and Trilleen is running in now down the run line at 5 and a bit knots towards Wick, so we should be there in about 6 hours. It was a fairly slow night until the wind actually did its turdy thing, at which point it became a lot faster. There's not much more to say really. This is how passage making goes on Trilleen. Slow, steady, not terribly exciting. That's how we like it. The final part of this passage took Trilleen and me across the eastern entrance to the Pentland Firth. I'm very grateful, as always, to the merchant ships who paid scrupulous attention to the coal regs, making space for Trilleen even as they were clearing some of the most complex and constricted waters in these islands. The entrance to Wick was unremarkable, and soon enough I was lying alongside the pontoon there, having been met by the wonderfully friendly harbour team. After more engine shenanigans, which are no longer relevant, I sailed from Wick into the darkness of the summer night, already so much darker here than at the north of Shetland, and out into the madness of a wind farm infested Murray Firth. The objective was to make passage direct to Peterhead on the east coast of Aberdeenshire, but first we had to make a long leg east along the edge of the turbine field to get far enough clear for a southward turn. That's us clear of the Murray East wind farm, Beatrix wind farm. Really spooky, running down 500 to 1,000 metres off the wind farm and feeling the blades spinning slowly, synchronised with the grid. It's a new world. It's full dawn and the peak of the wind that we'll see this trip went through about an hour ago, and over the last hour I've shaken out the 2 reefs that we had in the main, and we're back under full sail. And as the wind's gone through, we've also had a slight bend, so we're pretty much close hauled now, having been reaching all night. The close haul is taking us a little bit further west than we actually need to go, but the reason I'm doing that is because the wind's forecast to die further, and so I want to be able to come down and sneak round Rattray Head close inshore if possible. Trilleen and I are just drifting down now in about 10 knots of wind, making 4.5 to 5 knots towards Rattray Head and Peterhead. It's going reasonably well, except when the squalls come. These little sort of bursts of rain and squall. So the glasses. Reefs have been going in and out like, well, I don't know what really. Draws, I think would be a fair way of putting it. All morning, and boat's going nicely. Nice flat sea. Not much to complain about really. After a bit of slow progress, the last few miles round Rattray Head, we passed through the massive arms of Peterhead's breakwater, crossing the harbour to an excellent marina on the south side of this busy commercial port. Peterhead is home to the excellent Aberdeenshire Sailing Trust and the Peterhead Sailing Club. The harbour is a bit like Portland in that it encloses the biggest stretch of water, which makes for a great small boat and dinghy playground, and it was great to see all sorts of happy chaos unfolding, including an active sailability project which was doing great work with disabled crews who were working really hard.
It's also a place because the marina is a long way out of town, at least for my disabled legs, that I really benefit from carrying my tri-ride power unit for the wheelchair. It's great to be able to get into town, have a bit of an explore, and most importantly, get back carrying goodies from the supermarket. That concluded the most challenging phase of the passage around the UK and Ireland, the west of Scotland and Shetland. Next video will take us down the east coast, a much less photogenic coastline which nonetheless has its own specific attractions. I'm sorry to report that this video is, as I said at the start, a little bit late, and Trilleen is already on her way west and north as I record this on the way to a new base, but I hope you enjoy the film anyway.